We're going to revisit the Raptors and Knicks trade. A year ago at this point, the Knicks traded RJ Barrett, Immanuel Quickley, and a second-round pick to the Raptors in exchange for OG Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Flynn, right? So a year later now, we see that the Knicks have obviously become one of the teams that everybody looks at and everybody talks about because of some other moves that they've since made since that trade. And then the Raptors are in a totally different position. The Raptors are at the bottom of the conference, not competing for a playoff spot. But what are we thinking in terms of a year later? Who won that trade? Is there a winner? And what are we thinking in terms of both the future of the franchises after that trade? Who would you rather be? Would you rather be the Knicks right now? And then for the next 5 years, would you rather be the Raptors right now and for the next 5 years?
I think it was a great trade for the Raptors. In terms of winners, I don't know if you want to pick a winner or a loser. At the end of the day, the Knicks made other moves that have put them to where they are. But OG is a good fit for them, even though he does get injured often. He's definitely a good fit for that team. I think in terms of development, RJ would never have gotten to develop the way he developed in Toronto when he was in New York. So it's one of those things that have just it's mutually beneficial. And where would I rather be right at this moment? Of course, you'd probably rather be a Knicks fan at this exact moment. I mean, I'm a huge Raptors fan since the day we started our franchise in '95. And have I missed games this year? Of course, because I know we're going to lose the games. We're injured. We haven't seen what the Raptors can do. But I think most fans realize that what we do have, when we do get those guys together healthy next year, that trade's going to look quite different. When you get those guys healthy, we're in a good position. Future versus present with the trade. One team trying to win right now, another team trying to build for the next couple of years.
Okay, so I know we're short on time, so I'll try to be quick. So I disagree with you that you'd rather be a Knicks fan. I'd rather be a Raptors fan simply because I don't think the Knicks are going anywhere. I don't think they're winning a championship. Maybe they'll get to the conference finals, but they're not beating Boston. They're not winning a championship. So, where are you? I'd rather be a Raptors where we look like we're competing. We're playing hard. Like we're in every game and then we lose in a year where the draft is going to be deep. So I think that's great. I'd rather do that. RJ Barrett is averaging more points, more rebounds, and more assists than OG, like 23 something points a game. Like that's good for RJ. Like almost 7 rebounds, I think 6 assists. OG's averaging 2 assists, 17 points. I know they didn't get OG for his buckets. They got him for his defense. He's a better defender than RJ. Like that's not even debatable. Like I get all that, but I just think for the long-term future, like I would not want OG on this team right now. Like what will be the point? I'd rather RJ. And the last piece is we also have to remember Quickley is also part of this trade. We haven't really been able to see him play and become what he's going to be. But at the time we traded, a lot of us were more excited for him than we were for actually RJ because we weren't sure what he was going to become. So I think the trade is a little bit incomplete because we don't know what Quickley is going to be and if he can come in the mix and contribute and stuff like that. So, but right now, I'd rather be on the Raptors side than the Knicks side because I don't think the Knicks are gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I mean, I still don't think the Knicks are gonna win a title this year or next year. But we're building. Well, we don't know if we're ever going to win a title again. That's just the way things go. I know I'm happy being a Raptors fan. I will never complain. I do think the future is bright, as you said. Well, once Quickley gets healthy, we'll really see what this trade's about. And in 2-3 years, we should look like the winners, clear winners for sure.
So just to break the tie, I'm gonna have to say I'm more on Immanuel's side with this one. Like I'd rather be where the Raptors are than the Knicks are because we've already been, as the Raptors franchise, we've already been where the Knicks are right now, right? Like they've made moves. They're clearly improved than they were the last few years. But this team, as I look at them, are not a true contender. They're like, they're like in that B tier, right? And in my opinion, so which the Raptors were at for many years with the Lowry DeRozan era. We were in that group, making it to the conference finals, but you really knew that they weren't a championship team, right? So would it surprise you if the Knicks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals? No, it would not. Would it surprise me if they actually won the championship? Yes, absolutely, it would surprise me. Right? I don't see, and we saw when they played Atlanta the other day in the game prior to the NBA Cup semifinals. Right, the Knicks were favored, and what happened? Trae Young did them as he always does them. He treated them like he was their dad. Right, like the Knicks, they're still missing. They're still missing something. They got Towns, they got Brunson. I get it. Bridges and OG and Hart, and they got a scrappy team. They got talent. But at the end of the day, are they a true championship contender? I would say no. So for me, having already been in that spot as a fan and knowing, yeah, we got a good team, but we're still missing something. Yeah, I would take where the Raptors are right now. You got young stars and Scotty and RJ, who's been way better than I expected he would be. And then Quickley as your point guard of the future. You got Grady Dick, who has emerged, right? Like a year ago, he seemed like maybe he was going to be a flop of a pick. Now, all of a sudden, he doesn't seem like that at all, right? So, and then they've also made some other picks, Jacoby Walter and these guys. So, and them boys, as Stephen A. would say.
Them boys.
So, right? So, I mean, I would take the Raptors right now. 5 years from now, I mean, we'll see, obviously, how things shape out. But in terms of having a young squad, young guys who like to play together, playing hard, I would take the Raptors for sure. And in terms of who actually won the trade, to me, it's probably even, right? Because OG gives the Knicks what they needed, and to me, RJ and Quickley give the Raptors what they needed. So I feel like it works out as a wash. I think it's a trade that both sides needed. So that's how I see it.
I agree with that. I definitely think like the RJ, I didn't think he'd be able to do what he's doing. And I agree with you with that. Like almost 24 points a game. He's shooting from three. Like he was a terrible 3-point shooter when he came in late. Now he's in the corner. He's wide open. There's a good chance he's going to hit. I think he's shooting 38% from three or 36%, something like that. It's pretty good. And he's doing it most of the time without Barnes, like without another dominant player that's going to get attention, without Quickley, so how much better would he be with Barnes playing consistently, with Immanuel Quickley playing consistently, with Grady Dick, who's also been hurt, playing consistently? Like maybe his numbers wouldn't be as high, maybe they would be, but I think he'd be more efficient. And I think that he'd be even more of a threat because now you can't focus on him the way you can. So I like what I'm seeing from him. I'm just waiting to get Quickley. I just hope that guy can play and just not be injured all the time. Like I don't know what's going on with that. So he's the one I'm concerned about. I'm cautiously optimistic about him.